Introducing Research Methodology 2025, your ticket to mastering research, brought to you by the Center for Learning.
Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all for the second webinar of our Research Methodology course 2025. And I'll quickly go over the netiquettes for your ease. You're all requested to please rename your Zoom accounts to the name of your university first and then your name afterwards. You can see a sample here, FCCU. You can use acronyms as well. Please know that you will be muted by the host during the session and you can state your questions and your comments in the chat box. We see that a lot of people they write their name and their university name in the chat. That is not required. It is only required for those of you who are joining through YouTube. So participants will receive certificates for individual webinars only if they rename their attendance, and then the session will be recorded and all these recordings will be added to the CLT YouTube channel, and it has free access for you. So over to Dr. Ruxana.
Yes, hello and welcome. And we see that we have already crossed 1,000 in Zoom. And in the previous session, we had over 2,000, then go over to our YouTube series. And this topic, AI and research, is really a very powerful topic. And I am not very sure many experts are out there who would be comfortable taking this theme forward. Our deputy head, Dr. Mavish, she is first and foremost a researcher, a top-class researcher, and she is also a trainer in higher education. And so she will walk you through what AI and research means, and she'll walk you through all the structure of research. But first, we had a total registrations for this session for nearly 14,000, of which 11,000 plus are national, and nearly 2,000 are international from 100 countries, or 10 regions of the world, all continents, Africa, South Asia, these are not continents, the regions, East Asia, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Europe, North America, South America, Australia, and New Zealand. So all parts of the world have registered, and we are very, very honored. As you can see, Nahi from Higher Education and United Board collaborated with us. A bit about Mavish. She is recently finished her Fulbright, postdoctoral Fulbright, on digital professional competencies, right where her role is right now at CLT. And she was in Arizona State University. She has a decade of experience in education and academic leadership, and she was a dean of education prior to this, in which she does many first-time ever innovations in her own department. She has published a lot, and right now she is a forerunner for AI trainings. We're very, very thankful to have her with us. Thank you, Mavish. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruxana. So without further delay, I would request the host to let me share my screen with all of you. All right, first I want to give credits to our international colleague, Dr. David St. Andrew from Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence in UAE, who collaborated on this session with me. So AI and research, what is it all about? What are we going to talk about? We have to look at the workflow, at the agentic workflow. So usually a research venture starts with identification of research problem, moving on to finding the extant literature to understand what's happening in that particular field of study. Then you have to design your research study. Depending on the questions, depending on your personal approach, there are too many variables impacting your choice for research design. Then comes the part where you want to sort of visualize your study. What are you going to do? How are you going to do? Manage your time. You also have to plan what sort of data would you collect depending on your expertise and your own preferences towards qualitative or quantitative research. Then you have to interpret and discuss the results, make meaningful additions to the body of literature by enhancing and advancing the current literature status. Then moving on, while you're doing that, you do it through academic writing. Academic writing is very different from normal writing. I understand that all of you represent different higher education institutes. Some of you are postgraduate students here. So you understand the basics of academic writing. After that, you also have to think about how are you going to disseminate these findings. Dissemination is very important. You have to create an impact with your research. So I'm going to talk about each section of the generally that falls in the agentic workflow of research, and we are going to see how AI is continually impacting each of these segments and how we can improve our productivity as researchers. So starting with brainstorming research ideas, there are two ways to do that. One is your research ideas can be based on your personal experiences, some issue that you have encountered and you want to now work on, scientifically resolving it. Or the second possibility is that you identify a gap in the extant literature. How do you do that? There are several tools out there. Some of these are paid, some of these are fully open source tools, but they have great potential to help the researchers in identifying recent publications, the recent literature in real time, region-wise, year-wise. So let's talk. This is a full range of tools here visible on your screens. I'm going to take you through a few of these, starting with our discovery. I recently found this online tool, and I think that it has a great capacity to support research ventures. Now, as I take you through different tools, please know that you can exploit their possibilities for different phases in your research. They are not necessarily only meant to be for identifying the research problem. You can actually use the same tool in understanding the literature and making it more easy for you to understand, to resonate with your own research ideas. So as I take you through different tools and applications, please know that it all depends on you, how you want to use these. So our discovery is particularly really interesting because it summarizes the literature by using keywords. It gives you a summary in the form of a feed. You can actually upload your research articles, create a library of your own, chat with PDF. When you chat with the PDF, you can ask different questions from a PDF file. The system also suggests questions which are relevant to the content that is being uploaded. So it's very smart that way, that it scans the content and it also, gives you a suggestion of questions that do you want to ask these questions. You can also take ideas for question phrasing from the suggested questions. And if you don't want to stick to these questions, it's perfectly fine. You can actually ask this PDF anything that you want to ask in relation to your own experiences, your own thoughts, and your own understanding of the research problem. These are three different screenshots visible on your screen where I uploaded the Machine Learning and Human Intelligence book written by Rosemary Lukin, and then it gave me some suggested questions, but I wanted to ask something else, a project that I was doing at that time. So I asked my own question. It gave me a summary and a direct response based on the content which is published in the book. Another very important and interesting factor is this big circle that you can see on the left-hand side image. It gives you small numbers in blue tab. When you place the cursor on these blue tabs, it highlights the text from the source file, which means that it validates the content by telling you that where in the source file this particular idea or concept is mentioned. It also suggests related papers. If you look at the right-hand side image, you can see that when I click on the related papers tab, it gives me the papers in order of, and also, I can rearrange and sort these papers in different orders, year-wise, or maybe right now they are ordered in, in the hierarchy of viewership, maybe. Another similar software or application that you can use is OTO. These are all web-based applications. They also have some features which open up when you have the paid version, but all of these offer a free version as well, where you have limited operations using this tool, and even those limited operations can help you expedite finding the research ideas or research gaps in the extant literature. So OTO is a similar kind of software application where you upload your files and then you can talk to the PDF, you can summarize the content. You can also ask for key takeaways in terms of data analysis, or you can set your focus in terms of theoretical perspectives which are discussed in any particular paper that you want to study. So it's a quick way of understanding an academic publication and to ask targeted questions to find answers. Now, I did not take you through all of the resources, but here is a concise table for your understanding that what sort of different tools can you use for identifying research gaps. Connected papers, lit maps, and Research Rabbit. We are going to talk about these three resources later during my presentation. But as I said, that these tools can be exploited for several different phases of research. So it's not necessarily that I would stick to connected papers or lit maps or Research Rabbit in this section, but I'm going to pick them up in the later sections. Now, talking about similarities and differences, you see, we all have a different context. We have different need when we are conducting a research. It all depends on us. Why do we want to use a particular AI-driven application, and what's the purpose that we want to draw out of it? So a good comparison of these show that some of these can be grouped together based on the range of operations that they offer. For example, connected papers, lit maps, and Research Rabbits. They all create co-citation maps. Which means that when you insert a paper or a DOI for an academic paper, it groups it with the similar ideas and shows it on a map kind of a structure. I'm going to show that to you later during my presentation. But it's basically, the idea is to group citations, to create maps, to provide time updates, to show collaboration and author tracking. We talked about our discovery. Similar to this is Cite.ai. Both of these provide AI-based literature insights, makes your academic literature journey very easy, meaningful for you. It helps you in understanding a particular academic paper from the perspective of your own research ideas. OTO and connected papers, both of these create visual connections, but OTO offers note-taking and idea structuring. We already saw that it offers you to summarize the literature as well. Now, the next phase is how to draft research questions. Once you identify the research problem, Then you have to, of course, draft a research question, which has to be measurable. It has to be achievable, the SMART research questions. A range of applications can be used to facilitate your pursuit of writing research questions. I'm going to talk about Consensus, Science OS, and some writing softwares. Because, of course, as you phrase your question, it's very important for you to phrase them in a way that they purely reflect your pursuits for the research. So Consensus is an open online software which provides you the consensus from the research. It's a very powerful tool because as you move on with your research idea and you want to phrase the research question, you want to know that what has been achieved in that particular domain earlier. What does the literature say? What are the gaps in the literature? So you can see this is a complex screenshot on your screen where it has a prompt, and then the consensus meter shows that it has picked up information from so-and-so relevant papers, gives you exact number of papers, also provides you with the list of references. If you want to apply a filter of time, you can do that. You can also inform different methods for analysis of results. It can be a meta-analysis, can be a systematic literature review. On the first slide, when I showed you the literature, the agentic workflow for research, we all understand that there are several ways of going about each phase of research. So depending on your need, you can set the filters, and this application will actually support you in bringing data-driven insights from the literature. That's the highlight here. You can also draw summaries. You can use the same thing, and you can shuffle between different AI applications. After you have the consensus report, you can go back to our discovery, and you can ask questions from the PDF, interact with it, try to make meaningful insights for your research. So basically, it summarizes the academic papers and also gives you a data-driven insight. The next thing that I want to talk about is Science OS. This also summarizes research papers, and it ensures research validity and reliability by creating connections with extant literature. It highlights exactly which paper is it using, what are the challenges, success, and implications. You can use this software for research analysis as well. You can see that the system gives you suggestions for follow-up questions. Depending on your need, you can either choose one of these or phrase a question on your own. In the end, I would show you these are the products taken from different language models. The first one, starting from the left-hand side, is Gemini. Then we have Llama, ChatGPT 4.0 Pro, and then in the end is Cloud on the right-hand side bottom. So you can see that after taking ideas from the literature by using several AI-driven tools, you can finally come to the large language model, and you can give a command to write down your research questions. Now, there is a big implication that lies here, which is an ethical implication, that would it be ethical to use AI to draft questions? Well, you can take help from AI for drafting questions as long as you mention it in the citation. There are different policies followed by different internationally recognized academic publishers. So while sticking to those, you can develop the baseline ideas using AI and then refine those by incorporating your own unique research perspectives and also need and your context. All of that would add to making it more personalized. Talking about using the ChatGPT or similar models, the language processing models, to phrase your questions, it is very important for you to give a proper prompt. For any GPT, you have to have a contextualized prompt, which there is a brief description and the attributes that we have for effective prompts are shown here on the screen. Now, coming into the next stage of finding the literature. When we are finding the literature, there are usually two stages of finding the literature. First is to find the literature, to locate it. And the second is to understand it and to make connections with what you are doing, to make that relevance, to have the counter argument and to have a deeper insight into the literature. So for both of these two phases, we have different AI tools. A summary of these tools is visible on the screen. I'm going to take you through a few of the tools only. So for locating literature, the first basic way of using AI could be you ask Perplexity about what is the available literature available for a particular research concept or idea that you are about to explore. Moving on, as I talked earlier, that we are going to look at connected papers. It's a very strong, very powerful tool which creates visual graphs. You add the detail of the paper or just the keywords here. It gives you a full, whatever is available online, the papers that are published and available for public access, not even available for public access, but if anything is available online, any day at any database, connected apps picks it up and places it there for you in a feed format to see that what is the range of academic work carried out within the scope of those keywords that you have added in the search bar. If you have the DOI of an academic paper, you can simply add that, it picks that up. And in any way, when you reach the desired paper, all you have to do is when you say similar papers or when you ask it to generate a visual map, it picks up the keywords and generates the map for you. You can see here is a paper written by me, and when I added it to connected papers, it created a visual map showcasing that these people have worked on the same theme, representing different regions. You can see that the map that it creates is on a world map. So you can track the regional orientation of different research papers as well. Then we have Elicit. Elicit is the same kind of service where you can upload a paper or you can identify a paper and then filter it, identify relevant papers and create abstract summaries. This is very interesting tool, especially if you are doing a meta-analysis literature review. LitMaps creates literature maps. That's precisely the short form for this service. So the filters for this one are more detailed, and I like it better than connected maps from that perspective, because it can, it limits the year. It also provides you a literature map from a specific journal, which is a very powerful possibility if you are conducting a systematic literature review. Research Rabbit. Again, you add a paper, it gives you the relevant papers. You can create your own library. You can even connect it to Zotero. I'm going to take you through Zotero, what it is. So Research Rabbit is very powerful that way, because you You can work on different projects simultaneously, create a map simultaneously. But anyways, this is a paid software. The limited version does not allow you to track similar work or earlier work. Only the free the possibilities in the free version is to connect it with Zotero and also to track author-based publications. Now, the next issue that comes in after you find the literature is to understand the literature and to make meaning according to your own need. So if you don't understand the literature, don't worry. Just imagine if you can talk to your to the academic paper. You have a service that explains the paper to you in a very, very basic and simple explanation. So explain paper is very, effective for this. For understanding the papers, all you have to do is to highlight something and click on the explain button. It gives you, in the free version, it gives you the possibility of explaining the paper to the difficulty level of undergrad student, which is fair enough. I mean, it's not very easy or very simple, but it makes some academic meaning as well, keeping some challenge level for the reader, but it explains everything, the entire content of the paper in simple words, and then you can make the inference on your own. Again, you can switch to other applications and build on your understanding. But I think it's really important for any researcher to understand what they are reading. If you don't understand the content of the publication, then you are at loss. And if you only refer to the most easiest ones that lack rigor or maybe are not as robust as difficult papers, then you're basically not challenging yourself and you're not uplifting your own cognitive level of understanding academic writing. So that way, this application explain paper is very helpful. It gradually, over a period of time, you will realize that it will help your understanding of difficult content as well. Similar to this is Paper Digest that creates literature reviews. The only limitation in Paper Digest is, as you can see on the right side image, that the content of the paper is not visible. It does answer your questions when you ask the application, like I asked, what are the key dimensions of ethical use are discussed in this academic paper. So it has given me an answer. I can track back this answer in the paper on my own, but the system does not do it. So that's one limitation there. Moving on to Ask Your PDF, it's a similar kind of application where you upload papers or you can add, create summaries. You can also create the audio podcast of PDF files. So some images from the application. Similar to art discovery and also illicit. So, the features may overlap. Different applications may offer kind of similar features. One added benefit of PDF is the range of different languages that it can summarize in and it can communicate in. So I have, the drop-down menu shows the range of languages. But for researchers based in Pakistan, as we work mostly in English language, I think that other applications are equally competitive for us. Then coming to SciSpace. Very interesting. You have to write your prompt and it gives you proper questions that you can search The literature for, again, it is very helpful in identifying research gaps. It's very helpful in identifying research methodologies, phrasing of questions. So basically, it scans the literature for you. Also provides you the possibility of maintaining your own library. If the system does not understand your question, it gives you, it talks to you, it asks you if you could clarify or narrow down your research. And then when it gives you the answer, it gives you the answer from an X number of sources. Those sources can be seen, they can be tracked back to, so it ensures validity and reliability of responses in AI. Summary is the same. You can add articles and you can create summaries. You can actually maintain the focus on key points, overviews, and there are different possibilities to control the summary mode. So depending on your need, you can fix the difficulty level and you can fix the operation. Now, after you have access to the right literature, after you have understood what the literature says, the next big task is how to manage references, because especially for postgraduate level students who are working on thesis and working with references separately for different separate sections of their thesis. The introduction has a different set of resources or references probably compared to data analysis or literature review. So for such kind of segmented work, managing your references can become an ordeal. And if you have AI solutions, then you'll be in good zone. So the first tool that I have here is Mendeley. It creates citations. You can create your library with different names, and you can then in the end translate those references into citations. The other is Zotero. Zotero is more applicable and more user-friendly in context of social sciences and humanities, whereas Mendeley is more, for STEM-related subjects. Zotero is really interesting that way that it, as you can see on the screen, that for the library, you can name different chapters, you can save the references in different chapters, and in the end, it will save you from a lot of trouble of locating the missed references. But giving you a comparison of Zotero versus Mendeley, usually people prefer Zotero because it supports more citation style, it's more flexible in customization, it's fully open source. It creates group libraries. That means that if you're working with a group of researchers, you can co-share your references with them. And it's good for web research. But if you're working more heavily with the PDF-based research, then Mendeley should be your preferred application. It also, offers you, Mendeley also offers you to connect, the possibility to connect with other researchers, view their publications, and it also recommends related articles. The plus point here is that Mendeley has a mobile device interface as well, whereas Zotero is mostly used on Windows or iOS. Now visualize your research plan. Firstly, try and understand why is it important to visualize your research plan. Sometimes when we have too many objectives, too many research questions, and the research methodology involves various stages and steps, it's better to develop a conceptual understanding of your own research plan. So for that, Mapify is very helpful because it helps you to create conceptual thinking. It also enables the researchers to identify possible risks during the research methodology or your limitations. Sometimes when we are writing the research methodology, we may become very overambitious, but when we create a visual graph of, how, in what way are we going to systematically achieve or navigate through the research methodology, we may understand that there might be some limitations for us, or we may want to change the sequence of different actions. So for that, Mapify is a very helpful tool. Coming to data visualization and analysis. Now, data analysis is not everybody's strength. For a person like me who's more into qualitative research, quantitative research may become overwhelming for me. But if I have something with a friendly interface that is open source or that connects with the Excel file or with SPSS, all I have to do is to just insert my data file in that software, and that software tells me that which operations should I run in order to achieve the research questions or answer the research questions. Then I think that would be the best help that a person like me could get. So in this regard, JASP is a very interesting open source application. The word awesome is in the name of JASP. It's an acronym, and the person who made it, his name was Jeffrey. So JASP stands for Jeffrey's Awesome Statistical Package. And this is awesome, actually, because it suggests the non-quantitative researchers what sort of descriptive analysis should they use, what sort of correlational analysis should they use. And then it also connects with Excel and SPSS. You can simply transfer your data and shuffle the data between two platforms. You can also copy the tables and take them to Word files. It offers you the possibilities of basic statistical functions as well as the more sophisticated Bayesian binomial structures as well. Now, when you have everything ready, and now you're on your way to write, to compose your research publication, be it a thesis or an academic paper. Academic writing is different. It demands different kind of competencies, making connections, cross connections, making correlation with the extant literature, trying to, project the research gaps, and then projecting your study in such a way that you're bridging that gap. All of that is an essential component of academic writing. Of course, talking about GPT's Perplexity, you can use it for constructing the first draft of your writing. I wouldn't suggest that you use that draft as it is in your academic writing, because use of AI is in writing especially is prohibited by many international journals, and they have softwares to track the extent to which you have borrowed the stuff from AI. So AI produced product may not bring you anywhere close to publication. But there are ways to go about it. Remember, you're using AI to augment your own potential, not because you want AI to do work for you and you just simply borrow that and publish it in a paper. That's unethical. So just create the first draft and then contextualize it, change it, understand the tone. How you can use the AI to augment your personal writing style is to understand the basic structure, to understand the flow and the cohesion in your writing, and to pick those things up, to match it with your own work and try to upscale your own work products according to academic writing standards. When you have Cite, you can actually find out different research methodologies, different styles of writing, different methodologies. So that's where this comes in. It's very interesting if you have, insights into how a particular research was carried out. So there you can use Cite. Now, to sum up my conversation, this is a complete research workflow. some of these applications can shuffle between different phases, as we talked about it during the conversation. There are some tools that I have not shown, thinking that you can explore those on your own. But here is a full list of things that I have personally used, and I can vouch for these, that these are extremely helpful and they make the research workflow very easy. Not that research has become easier or less time consuming, but I would say that AI has added more rigor to the research product, because now when you have access to so much literature, you have the possibility of locating literature region-wise, year-wise. So naturally, your literature reviews become more robust. They become more meaningful, more data-driven. So the quality of research is definitely enhancing with the advent of AI. It also challenges researchers with many ethical concerns. And to address those, we have another session that particularly addresses only the ethical challenges in research workflow. Please consult our research program flyer to find out that when that session is scheduled. But I would strongly suggest all of you to please participate in that session, because we are going to talk about the acute problems of ethical interaction, responsible use of AI during that session. Let's now discuss and have questions from you all.
Gohar, are you going to pick up the questions, or Fatima? Excellent,
Yes, ma'am.
Babish. I am going to come straight to you after this to get some help for my own self and my own writing.
Sure.
So we are not taking, we are not unmuting. So Noor, we are very sorry we will not be able to respond to that hands up. So please kindly put your questions in the chat and we'll respond.
I'll start with Zainab from Beria University. She says that does citing the use of AI tools devalue your research or paper?
No, they don't. That's, from citation, if you mean locating literature and then citing it in your research, it just adds more information, more data, more regional understanding of the research problem. It expands your personal exposure towards literature, because you see earlier, although I'm pretty new in the field of higher education, but before AI, it was an ordeal to find relevant literature. You had to have memberships of digital libraries. You had to have contacts in different universities, asking them to forward academic research papers to you, or to locate academic research papers. But now it's very easy. It's just a click away. So it definitely does not make your paper unethical or your writing unethical, as long as, of course, you're not copying and pasting from those publications into your product. So when you're citing something, that means that it resonates with your research ideas and you create that link. So research is all about building on the prior research, and you have to make it ethical on your own. So no, it does not make it unethical. Rather, it creates more robust literature reviews.
Just a button. There are repeated questions on plagiarism. As Babish has already said, please hold on for the June 18th session, and then you will get all your answers about plagiarism. Let's concentrate on what are the research apps or tools or what's out there to help you with your research.
Yeah. So I would like to reinforce what I said earlier during my talk, that we are using AI to augment our own potential as researchers. All of these tools are there to facilitate you, to increase your accessibility to literature, to research methodologies. Sometimes a researcher is just so grounded in in our own context that we may not be aware of different research methodologies that other people are applying in their studies. So AI can improve your exposure that way, that you can ask these tools what different methodologies are out there, and then you can contextualize and adapt those. So definitely AI tools can improve your potential as researchers.
I think we need to add one thing, that when you use AI for your work, how you acknowledge the work and how much work you have done is key. And different institutions and different publications will have different requirements, and you will have to follow that. For example, when I do some work that's AI, I have asked AI to brainstorm or help me. That's exactly what I will cite, that the brainstorming or whatever happened or research happened, this much writing happened, and you assist that it was assisted by AI, not written, totally written by AI, of course, is a total no-no. But if you use it for brainstorming or some other locating resources like Mavish was talking about, that's totally kosher. So I think let's not dwell on this question, and let's move on to tangible questions about research, different types of research and AI.
Yeah. So Gohar, next question.
Next, I'll move to Sayam Akram. He says that what are the implications of using AI for academic writing? At what stages of the writing process is it appropriate to seek help from AI?
Yeah, for brainstorming, when you're constructing your first draft, when you're seeking ideas, it's absolutely fine to use AI. But yeah, if you are copying and pasting the entire product as it is within your research output, then it becomes unethical and it will be caught by plagiarism tracking softwares. So it purely depends on you. You see, AI is an intelligent tool. It can talk to you, but its intelligence is in your control. AI is not driving you, you are driving AI. So it all depends, how do you want to use it? What questions are you asking? How are you using it? It can be a very powerful tool for self-regulatory analysis of research, asking key features of your research, finding gaps. And all of that is entirely ethical. So when we talk about writing, even for writing, if you are asking or you're discussing certain benchmarks for quality academic writing, that's ethical. But if you're giving a prompt and taking that product and inserting it in your work product, your research product, then it becomes a problem. I hope I'm able to answer your question. So the implications are in your control. To just briefly answer it, you're the one who's driving AI. AI isn't driving you.
Moving on, we have the next question from Noor Fatima from Bahauddin Zakriya University. She asked that can we rely on research tools that collect data from online databases? What if many of the papers they do from are not published in reputable journals? How can we access the authenticity and academic credibility of such sources?
Well, to assess the academic credibility, there are mechanisms out there. There are some predatory journals, and we all understand how to identify those. The journals should be indexed in Scopus or in internationally recognized databases. Automatically, the credibility of the research increases when your work is published in a journal that's listed or that's cross-listed perhaps in Scopus or other databases. So one way of doing that would be, to turn to traditional ways. If you're asking to use AI to collect secondary data, sometimes we are doing critical discourse analysis where we have to refer to different published papers and see what's the output. So consensus is the application for that. It consolidates the data from the research and gives you a percentage. So now how you build on that is entirely up to you. But the baseline operations have become extremely easy and they are just a click away. Also, referring back to our first webinar in which we thoroughly discussed the perspective of uniqueness of researchers, I would like to link the same notion here, that it all depends on your own context, on your own understanding, on your own perception, on your own research style, your research questions, your research objectives, too many variables in there. So naturally, when you take some information from the secondary sources, you have to contextualize them. You have to rephrase them in the light of your own research questions, thus creating a difference. So yes, you can use AI to collect data from extant literature or to use AI tools for critical discourse analysis. But then, of course, you have to answer or you have to frame those findings as according to your own research questions, which will give it a unique look and touch as well.
Thank you, Dr. Mavish. As we are talking about the online databases, I have two questions talking about data sets and data theft. We have Amber Shahzadi from FCCU. She's asking if AI can stimulate synthetic data sets indistinguishable from real data. How will this impact peer reviews, resilience, reliance on reproducibility? And similar to that, we have Momina Yahya from PU that if we upload data collected or a research article on JASP or Perplexity, would that lead to any problems such as data theft?
Well, for JASP, I can say that there's no data theft because you upload the data file, you're in control, you have your own account. It's similar to having an email account. You see, there's so much on your emails, on your Google Drive, but then there is a backend inscription which assures the users that nothing is going to be stolen. So similarly, JASP assures that assurance, gives that assurance to users that there's not going to be a threat of data theft. The other one that you asked was Perplexity. Perplexity is an open source which builds on its algorithm. So it keeps on changing the algorithm. Every command that you place in Perplexity is stored in its memory and is used to restructure the algorithm. So yeah, there you have the possibility that your data would remain somewhere in the cloud where you don't know. I also don't know where does it go, but Perplexity builds on its memory and the data stays there. Who has access to it? How do they use that information? These are all dark questions that nobody really knows the answer to. So I'm sorry, but I don't know what happens with the data once it's stored in that cloud. But for JASP, your data control stays in your control.
Next, we have Asad Ali from University of Sargodha is asking, can AI tools actually help improve research quality and address real world problems more effectively?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. You see, I give you an example. You have sustainable development goals. We all know that now the international research bodies are shifting their focus to sustainable development goals. The research ideas that fall within a sustainable development goal are given more credit and more possibilities of funding and everything. So let's imagine a scenario where somebody has picked up a SGD and now they want to know that they want to create a niche for their future research. So to create that niche, now you have the possibility to explore a lot of literature with the focus of sustainable development goals. So you can, it's faster for the researchers to identify the research gaps. Now, when you identify the research gaps, you compose your research project. To compose your research project, again, you're finding that what are the limitations and what is the future vision the Vision 2030, which is out there available online for everybody. You can consult the future Vision 2030 for the world in terms of sustainable development goals, and cross-analyze the information that you have and create that niche. So after you create that niche, now you go to to create contextualized objectives or research questions have to be grounded in the context, whichever context you're talking about. For international research funding, usually they prefer to have the local context, because sitting here in Pakistan, you might not be able to add a lot of value to the EU policy framework, for instance, especially if you're representing social sciences and humanities. Not talking about STEM disciplines, but particularly for social sciences and humanities, when you find your niche, it would be better for you, more promising for you if you root your context in your local setting. So yeah, AI makes those possibilities for us now, and it definitely helps everyone become a better researcher, because your research is in a meaningful direction, which matters to the world, and not just research for the sake of conducting research.
Thank you, Dr. Mavish. Moving forward, we have two, I would not say similar, but addressing the same issue. Number one is Tiko Rahman from Quest University is asking, given the cost barriers of many AI tools, what accessible alternatives would you recommend? And Dr. Sayyeda Noreen says that could you highlight some generally useful AI tools for research that are completely free to use?
Okay. The money issues, monetary limitations are a valid point. And that's why we fear that the digital inequalities are only going to exacerbate, especially in the global south, because most people in global south don't have access to the paid versions. And when so much is possible with the paid version, and just imagine researchers in the global north have access to the paid versions because it's sponsored by their universities or their organizations. So naturally, we are at loss. So there are no two opinions about that we are not on loss. On my screen, you can see the list of resources that I talked about. Most of these resources offer good range of operations in the free version. Now you have to decide based on your own discipline that which works better for you. There are always limitations in applications that are for commercial use or that have the paid version. But having said that, overcome the digital inequalities, it was decided about 5 years ago in a you can say a regional level meeting in Europe, that all the AI that will be developed in Europe will offer free operations to users based outside Europe. And sticking to their promise, most of these do offer a good range of operations. It's difficult for me to now point out that which ones are better than the others. Like I personally use Connected Papers. I use Research Rabbit. I have a full library on Notebook LM. I've recently started using R Discovery and really liking it. Then Explain Paper is really interesting. I've learned a lot as a researcher through Explain Paper, because you can say that, the research limitations, the limitations in understanding the methodologies, I've overcome those limitations. So that has been very helpful for me. Consensus has been very helpful for me when I supervise my MPhil students, because when they bring in an idea and they advocate that, this is a great idea and a really unique idea and we need it in Pakistan. So when we run that idea through consensus, we find that there's a lot of work in the similar context of Global South. So Global South is not only Pakistan or India or these countries, but it's also the African region and also the Latin American region. So when you're looking at research and the research is only, if you're only focusing on Pakistan or India, it really doesn't, add value to your research output, because if in the same context, if the research has been done elsewhere, then you're really not advancing the literature body. So consensus that way, I personally use. I really like it. Mapify is very interesting, and I really like using it because for my students, especially because when they bring in research ideas which are so elaborated and they are so overambitious that in 6 months' time we are going to do this and that and whatnot, then you put it all on Mapify and you ask them to look at the milestones that are essential for them to accomplish on this journey, and they have 6 months time limit, and then they realize that it's too much, it's not practical. So you see, sometimes as researchers we may become overambitious, because when we are writing our research methodology, we are really not realizing that what are the sub milestones that go within each stage. So Mapify is very interesting that way. Then JAF, I totally love it. I think it's really good. And Zotero is something that I use. It's free. It's completely free. So yeah, I mean, you have to take small steps, find out for yourself what works for you, what suffices your needs, and we are the best judge that what works the best for us. Maybe a paid version or limited possibility in one application suits you better than the free version of the other. So you have to, of course, invest time, and you have to experience operations on different applications on your own to decide what do you want to use.
Thank you. Moving forward, we have Zunair Habib from UOS. He asked that can AI assist in identifying the most suitable study area and providing justification for area selection in primary data research? For instance, when conducting a thesis on poverty in 2 villages, can AI help justify the selection of these specific villages?
Well, you have to understand that we are not making AI. We are not the architects of AI. AI is created in the West. In the West, they don't know what's Jamshoro. They don't know what's Dera Ghazi Khan. So we know it. We have information, we have understanding of the, social dynamics or dynamics with the economic inflation or contextual dynamics, you can say. So no, AI can't make valid decisions for you. It will suggest you, of course, it will make a suggestion. It will pick one of the villages for you, but its justification and the logic that it will provide you will be made up. And I personally would not ask AI to make decisions for me. I want to make my own decisions myself. I want to use AI only where I want it to help me, to expedite the operations and to save my time. Nothing more than that. I don't want AI to take decisions for me. I don't want AI to tell me that what research should I conduct and why is it needed. I have to have my own research experiences, and I have to make meaning from what I read, what I do. And then when I have an idea, yes, I can run it through AI and I can take help from AI to facilitate me through various stages of research. But forwarding such kind of questions, asking AI to help you draw out the pool for respondents, even that is unethical, and you should not trust AI for making decisions. Yeah. Any other question, Gohar?
Thank you. Yes, we have. We have a question from John Alam. He says that how can AI assist in creating a Scopus style literature review file, especially in contexts like Pakistan, where access to a central academic library is limited?
So Scopus itself offers you the possibility of extracting literature. I'm sorry, I just deleted that screenshot because I thought that I'm going to end up talking about too many tools, but I did have that screenshot for you where I've used Scopus to identify research, relevant research to my to the research project that I'm currently doing. And then it also creates a workflow map. So Scopus it itself inbuilt, it offers you that possibility. And as you're saying that in Pakistan, we don't have access to digitized central library, I completely agree with you. And that's exactly what I said earlier, that we have limitations and we can't turn a blind eye to those limitations. These are real context. We don't have access to literature review a click away. There are sometimes, we have to go about it in an unethical way. We have, there are so many different softwares out there that enable you to access literature, but they're not legal. Sci-Hub is one example. If you have the DOI, it helps you access the literature. Sometimes the literature is paid, but it gives you the pirated version. So in the end, it's very sad and unfortunate for people like us who are thriving in a low resource environment, that we do indulge in unethical operations out of our limitations, because of our limitations. So I would suggest that, you should use applications that help you identify literature at least, because when I showed the Research Rabbit and Connected Paper, if you go through these apps, you will find that they give you an insight of the paper, even if the paper is not accessible. So they highlight the abstract, and you can further track the author publications to understand their styles. It will be an extra work for you, but there are ways to go about it. Anything else, Bahar?
We have a lot of questions regarding ethical concerns and plagiarism. To answer this, we request you to please register for our session on research ethics in digital age and AI age as well. What is plagiarism? It will talk about that. It's on scheduled for June 18th at 1 to 2 Pakistan time. So you can register for that, and we'll address that. Dr. Ruxana, do you have something to add?
No, I think very well conducted. And Mavish, thank you for explaining such a lot of things in such a short time. And we know that there's a lot out there. And to a lot of questions when you were asking in the chat, I have sometimes written, why don't you ask AI to give you the answer? So when you're looking for some simplistic, I don't understand this, is there another tool? Do I pay for it or do I not pay for it? Those are answers that become in a Google, you just go to Google, you click, you'll get those answers. Or from, even changing from text to graphics or whatever you want, you can give the prompt and it will exactly do that, AI. And you can ask which AI can do it for free. And so a lot of these questions that you ask are right there at your fingertips. Just start using AI. About ethics,
and
that's a very, very strong
concern. I would just want to add here that use AI to facilitate you. Yeah, don't use AI to overcome the journey of research.
Yeah. I think when you use AI to create something that you should have created, that's where the problem arises. It's not for using it. So your higher cognitive thinking, but then, you create by asking prompts. And sometimes those prompts that you have asked are prompts that come from your creativity and from your, but it's making the job easy for you. So there's, don't think about it that there is a line to be drawn that is drawn within you. whenever you think, if you're using something, that this is not mine, or these are not my words, or this is not my thinking, well, that's where you stop. Learn from AI and then sort of think about it. I do see that there's Lin Yong. Is that Lin Yong? If there's something that you would like to contribute, we'll be very happy to have you in the chat and, to state some points that you think can add to the discussion. Would you like, can we unmute him for a short while? I see that you are from MIT. Is that really? Wow, we're impressed to have you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
please.
you very much. I'm from Myanmar, and this session is very helpful for us, especially students in Myanmar, because as you know, that Myanmar is very under the civil war, and data accessibility is very, very much difficult for us.
Oh.
But the AI, how to use the AI is very helpful for all the students to get more resources from the outside, because currently we have very limited electricity and internet access. So that most of the reliable resources that literature review is from the outside we rely on. So now we got a lot of information how to use it, the AI, effectively for our research projects. Yeah, thank you very much, doctors.
Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. We have to realize that we are at, a watershed moment. A lot of data that we are producing is actually adding to the knowledge of AI itself. Because like Mavish said, they don't know about Jam Showroom, they do not know about who we are. But if we disclose our identities, then we are giving heaps of that information. And I would be more worried about privacy and security of data more than anything else. Putting, confidential stuff or stuff by name is something that you have to learn to avoid. So, but that's a tough call. But for now, I think please do join other sessions. Lots of questions that you have, you will be able to resolve through other sessions. So we are very happy to have you with us. We had again nearly 3,000 of you, 1,000 here and another 2,000 in YouTube. And we have tried to add their comments in the chat as well. But we do hope that we can provide you some answers that will help you. But then, like Mavish said, nothing like exploring. So just with some basic stuff, pick it up and then start exploring. And you will just realize how easy it becomes to draw lines and to be careful. Okay, thank you so much.
Add in the end that use AI to enhance your own potential. Use AI as a teaching tool, and you will learn a lot. Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much for joining me in this session. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.